Hello friends, welcome to my another video lecture series on prepare for NQT programming aptitude. NQT is a national qualification test for TCS campus type. Today we will discuss about introduction session on TCS NQT and our focus will only be on programming. For other things like aptitude and other type of questions you can refer the other channels. So my focus will be only on programming aptitude and the program, writing the program for TCS. Friends, I am Ram Goda and welcome to my channel. And for getting it to be selected into TCS, you can refer a reference book. Let us see by Yashwant Kanetkar. This is one of the beautiful book you can refer if you want to prefer writing the program in C programming language. If you want to write it in Java programming language, you can refer the complete reference. All the logic that I am going to discuss will remain same. Only if your preference is Java, in that case you have to write the program into the Java programming language. We will be starting from scratch of program for the programming. So let us start and let me welcome you once again to this video series. First of all, let us try to understand what is a TCS NQT. In this introductory video, I am going to tell you about what is NQT, for what purpose it is conducted, and what type of programs are involved into it. We will start with simple programs initially, and in the later video lectures we will cover all the questions that comes in the TCS NQT programming. So TCS National Qualification Test is a multi-level assessment to assess the following competencies and skills. First one is competence on the core cognitive processes required for entry-level jobs. Second one is industry-specific knowledge and insights. Third one is about specialization on skills required to perform the various job roles. Dear friends, in this particular video lecture series, I am going to start it from the beginning. If you are a non-CAC candidate, you can start attending my videos. Even if you are a CAC candidate and if you have some problems, some non-confidence on clearing the programming aptitude, you can join this particular video series. So friends, let us move ahead. And what are the sample program types? So the sample program types are pattern programming, wherein different patterns will be given to you and it will be asked to you to find out a particular pattern out of that. Number series, so for example Fibonacci number, or some series will be there, for example 1 2 4 6 8 10, and this particular series is given, and in this particular series will be asked to find out the 10th number in the given series. Or there will be a combination of two series. One is, let us say, multiple of 2 and one is a multiple of 3, and you will be asked to find out the 12th number. So for this one, for the number series, I would like to give an example. So for number series, mixture of two series will be given to you. Then this is a mixture of two series where the first series, this is the first series, the values at the odd position are multiple of 2's and the values at the even position are multiple of 3's. So here they will give some series like this. You have to identify what is that series, and they will ask you find out the 14th value in this particular series. 14th value is even location. So even location is multiple of 3, you can say. So 3 raised to 0 is first position, 3 raised to 1 is second position. So 14th is the 7th position. So in that case you have to find out 3 raised to 6. Sorry, it is not 3 raised to 6, it is 3 into 6. It is 3 into 6. Similarly, some questions can be there on arithmetic operations, some questions can be there on strings, pattern matching and logical analysis. Friends, we are not directly going into this. Initially we'll try to understand about what is a program and what is the program structure. So this is the simplest program that we can write. So the simple program, so every C program starts with this particular instruction. This is stdio.h, include stdio.h. This particular is inclusion of the header files. So there are some statements like printf. This is the particular statement which is defined inside this another file, and that is the reason that we are including it here. Every C program always start with a main. So it can start with int main, or it can start with just a main. It can also start with void main, but all that definitions we'll discuss later on. You can just start it with main. Then in your C program, this curly brackets, okay, these indicates the body or body of a block. So the location where this curly bracket start and the location where the curly bracket ends, that becomes a body of, you can say, block. This is one block. Okay, once you enter here, you will exit from here. So the instruction given here is printf. Printf is a what you can say output operator, or you can say it is an output statement. Whatever you will write in the printf statement, all that will be written as it is onto the output screen. All that will be written as it is onto the output screen, and return 0. So once you call the main, we need to return back to the compiler. So if you don't want to return anything, you can return 0 to it. So this is how the simple program looks like, and it is hello TCS NQT. Let us move ahead and let us try to understand the structure of a program. This is one of the program. So over here I am not going to explain you any logic, but for today we will understand what is the structure of the program. So as you can see here, stdio.h is a header file, inclusion of the header file. So sometimes if you are using the square root function, if you want to find out a square or square root, so in that case you have to include other types of files. For example, for square root and mathematical equations, you need to include math.h. So any program starts with the including of these files. Okay, then int main, the program starts executing here. This is the body. So there can be many blocks. Inside the blocks, this is the external body, and this one, whatever that is written in the double slash mark are called as the comment for the user's understanding, and they are not going to be executed. All such instructions which are written after the double slash, double divide by operation, they are all comments and they are not going to be executed. The first line of the program, int number comma expo is equal to 1. This is called as a declaration statement. Over here the variables are declared and some variables are initialized. For example, while declaring, if you are assigning some value to that variable, this is called as initialization. Why to declare the variables is whatever the memory locations you require to execute a particular program, that are to be declared here. For example, if you want to add two numbers, so the first number can be A and second number can be B, and you want to add these two numbers into C. So these three variables are to be declared at the start of the program. So in this case you have to declare it as int ABC. If you want that these ABC are to be integers. If you want them as a real values, then it can be float. Float means it will take the real values. So 1.01, any real values can be considered here. If you want to consider a larger number, for example bigger number, okay, in that case it should be long. So this is called as an initialization statement. Then again there is one comment, you can see here there is one comment, and this comment is for user's understanding. Now reading this comment, you will say that read user input. So for example in this program my intention is to find out exponential, for example 3 raised to 5. My intention is to find out 3 raised to 5. So read the base value. So I am reading the base value is equal to 3. So read the user input. So you will prompt the user, enter the value of the and enter the base value. Okay, and this is the input value, this is the read value. Okay, so printf is the output statement. It will print on your screen, read, enter the base value, and it will stop there for reading the value. Okay, and this scanf is the input statement. It will read the value, and it will store that particular value, whatever you have entered over there, into the memory location NUM. The memory location name is NUM, and NUM you can see here, it is declared over here. Then to display the exponent, so read the exponent, again enter the exponent value and read it into the exponent. So raised to the power value is to be read here. Now let us say if I read the value 3 raised to 0. If I read the value 3 raised to 0, what is 3 raised to 0? Is 1. And if the value read is 0, in that case I am going to return this one as it is, whatever we have initialized initially. But if it is not 0, now while this is a looping statement, I will tell you what is a looping statement in preceding lectures. So here, while expo is not equal to 0, so for example, if base value is returned as entered as 0 and expo value is entered as 4, here our intention is to multiply 3 for 4 times. So for that, what we are doing is temp, and temp is the temporary value which is initialized to 1 initially. So temp is equal to 1 we can do here. We have to declare here temp is equal to 1. Okay, now temp is equal to temp multiplied by number is 3. So what will happen is temp, which was 1, now it will be updated with 3. And expo minus expo, now it is pre-decrement. This is a decrement statement. I will tell you what is this statement in detail later on. But decrement statement is, for example, x contains a value 10, and if you perform this operation, x minus, it will decrement the value of x by 1, it will become 9. And similarly minus x is also makes it 9, only x is called as a post decrement, and minus x is called as a pre-decrement. I will be telling the difference between these two in the preceding lectures. Now expo is equal to, now expo initially expo was read as 4, now it will become 3. Now for another once it will be multiplied, now expo will become 2, for another once it will be multiplied, expo will become 1, another time it will be multiplied, expo will become 0, and expo is equal to 0 will come out of this loop, and what we will get is 3 into 3 into 3 into 3 is 81. So this is the another block you can say. So this is the structure of a program. Let us move ahead and let us try to understand about the declaration statement. What is a declaration statement? Declaration statement is a statement which is used to declare the variables, which is used to declare the memory location. So suppose you want to perform some addition, addition of two values, c is equal to a plus b. So in that case you have to declare c, you have to declare a, and you have to declare b. Declaration statement consists of the data type. This is called as a data type. Then it consists of the variable names that you want to declare over here. These are all called as variables. These variables means they have some name is given to the memory. In your memory location, there is one memory will be allocated with the name C, one memory location will be allocated with the name A, one memory location will be allocated with the name B. Now if you read, so suppose you do in this way, printf read value of A and B. This program will be executing, and I'll be sharing the video of this program after the current video. Okay, then, and if you do here scanf percentage d ampersand a ampersand b. Now the compiler will prompt the user to enter two values. First value, suppose the user enters first value is equal to 10 and second value is equal to 20. 10 will be stored at the address, ampersand a means address of A, and 20 will be stored at the address of B. And later on, if you perform C is equal to A plus B, in that case the value at the address A, the value at the address B will be added together, and the result will be stored in the address C. Now if you print it, now in order to print the value of C, previously we have seen one program over here, and here you can see that hello TCS NQT. So no value, no extra value is to be printed over here. But here if you want to print it, what you are going to print over here is you are going to print C is equal to percentage D. So percentage D means some values to be printed, and what is that value? C. That is variable. So whatever that is written inside the double quotes will be printed as it is, and this is outside the double quote means this is the memory value. In this way the declaration statement works. What are the different types of data types? Data type can be a character data type, it can be a int data type, it can be a float data type. Character is for reading the characters and strings, integer is for reading the integers, float is for reading the, what you can say, real numbers, long is for reading the larger integers, bigger integers, and so on. There are many more. Double is there. Double is to read the larger real values. Okay, so these are the different data types that we have. Whenever we come across any program where we need to discuss about this, we will discuss at that particular location. So this is about the declaration statement. Another thing is about the comments. So single line comments in any program, single line comments are written as double slash. So if you write here hello friends, so this particular set of lines will not be executed. Compiler will ignore this. It will not try to execute this. This is called as a single line comment. If you want to write a comment for in multiple lines, so you can write it in this way: slash and star hello friends, I hope you are understanding the current discussion. At the end a star and a slash. Now this whole thing is now a comment. This whole string will not, compiler will not see this complete string and it will ignore this. This whenever I am writing it in a double slash or in this, at that time this is for the user purpose. In order that user should understand the particular program, so these comments are added into the program. So it is always better to write the comments into the program. Moving ahead, let us try to understand input and output statements. Currently we have seen one input statement and one output statement. If I write printf, always remember that all of these should be a small letters. Printf, hello friends, in my program. So, and I execute that program. In that case, the program will give me the output as hello friends. Whatever you are writing inside this, that will be printed at the terminal. Whatever you are writing into this, that all is printed onto the terminal. This is called as output statement. If you want to read anything from the user at that time, you have to use a function scanf, and in the scanf you have to give the identifier. Identifier can be a %d for reading the integers, %f for reading the floating point variables, real values. If you have declared anything as a float, at the time you have to give the identifier over here as %f. Similarly, %c for characters. So %d comma, this integer type of values to be read. What it indicates is integer type of values to be read, and where it is to be stored, it is to be stored at the memory location of A, which you have already declared. So for that you have to declare it previously. So this is called as input statement. So it will prompt the user to provide the input. Prompt the user to provide the. Moving ahead, the conditional statements. So initially we will discuss only the simple condition statement. The first condition statement is if statement. So if statement, the format of if statement is if opening bracket condition. Okay, and the statements. So whatever the statements that you want to execute, if the condition is true, you can write it here. There is another if else statement. So condition, another condition statement is if else statement. So here if condition bracket, whatever the statement that you want to execute on validity of this condition. Otherwise, if you want to execute some other statement, if this condition is not true, in that case you can use the statement else, if else, this one body. Again, inside an else there can be another if, and for that another else can be there. So such type of if else condition will be there. Whenever whatever is necessary, we will discuss. So this is a brief introduction. There are some looping statements. So we are going to make use of for loop. The condition, the format of for loop is for initialization statement, initialization statement, comma, conditional statement, semicolon, it is not comma, it is semicolon, increment statement. Format is something like this: for I is equal to 0, that is initially I is initialized to 0, I is less than or equal to 10. I am going to continue this for loop until I reaches 10, until I reaches more than 10, and I plus plus. Over here, this one is the one looping statement. There is another looping statement which is called as while. For while, we have a condition. While I, let us say I initially is 1, while I is less than 10, do some work. Okay. And there is another one that is called as do while. To execute this statement while the condition is true. Okay. Now over here, it may happen that what is the difference between while and do while loop is, it may happen in a while loop that the particular block is not at all executed, but here it will execute at least one irrespective of whether the condition is true or false. If the condition is true, the block will enter into this in the while. If this condition is not true, in that case it will not enter. So at the position when this condition is wrong, this block will never be executed, but here whether it is correct or not, this block will be executed at least for once. So these are the basic things that I wanted to discuss with you all in this particular lecture, and I am thankful to you all to attending this particular lecture. In my next lecture, I will be writing a program, the same program which we have executed today, and we will understand what is happening with that particular instructions. Thank you. Dear friends, for further instructions, I am going to conduct some online lectures in the evening session after 6 o'clock. Those who are interested, they can join the Telegram channel of mine. The link to join the Telegram session is provided in the description section. So thank you.